Hello folks, welcome back to the Python programming. This is Mandakini Ganeshwade, working as an assistant professor in a CSE department of Maharashtra Institute of Technology, Sambhajinagar. So today we are going to see the Python fundamentals. Let us see the very first basic definition for the Python. Python is a high-level interpreted and general-purpose dynamic programming language that focuses on code readability. Means why this is interpreted? Because everything is instantly shows at the moment that is interpreted. We can run these programs in a command prompt or in a shell script, and it is called dynamic because at the time of execution only they can identify the variable types. There is no need to declare the data types in a coding sections. So that is why it is a dynamic language. Its syntax in a Python helps the programmers to do coding in a fewer steps as compared to the Java or C++. So the Python has a very few length of lines of code, very short lines we have. For example, in a C program, addition of two numbers require 5 to 10 lines, but in the Python programming, we require only the 3 to 4 lines. So it is a compressed form of the language. Dynamic programming language which supports several different programming paradigms, like it is a procedural programming language, it is an object-oriented programming language, functional programming standard, that is Python bytecode is executed in a Python interpreter, that is a platform independent code. Why we are going to learn Python? Because of its lots of features of a Python. It is a friendly, and it is used in a website development, it is used in a data analysis, server maintenance, numerical analysis. The syntax is a very clear, it is easy to read and learn, that is almost zero code we have in a very easy fashion. It is a full of modularity, have a hierarchical packages, it is a comprehensive standard library for many tasks, it has a big community, it is a simply extendable via C or C++ or wrapping of a C or C++ library focus, that is programming speed. Here there are number of scopes for the Python we have. You can say it is a scopes or objectives. In a Python, we can learn basic programming constructs like data types, decisions, structures, control structures, etc. And more, we know how to use libraries for string manipulations and user-defined functions. We can learn to use inbuilt data structures in a Python like a list, tuples, dictionaries, and file handlings. And also know how to use functions and modules in a Python to solve various big problems. And have another scope, that is learn about regular expressions and work on some examples using some regular mathematical expressions. Actually, Python Guru was very interested on watching comedy shows which was telecasting on BBC channel from 1969 to 1974. That was the name, the Complete Monty Python Flying Circus. So that time the Godobon thought he needed a name that was short or unique for his programming languages. So the Godobon decided to call the language for his programming, that is Python. This is a history of a Python. The implementation of a Python was started during 1985 to 1990 by Guido van Rossum in the Netherlands. In February 1991, Guido van Rossum published the code labeled version 0.9.0. In 1994, the Python 1.0 was released with new features like including the libraries lambda, map, filter, and reduce. Python 2.0 added new features such as list comprehensions, garbage collection systems. On December 3, 2008, Python 3.0 was released. It was designed to rectify the fundamentals flaw of the languages. These are the few versions and its dates with its release date and year. Python 1 started in January 1994. Here till July 3, 2010, we have the versions 1.0 to 2.7. Again, we have more versions like 3.0 to 3.8. 3.0 was started in December 3, 2008 till October 14, 2019. The latest version was 3.8. Why to learn Python? Because it makes a clear and easy understanding of a programming language. It is used to learn the basic syntax. It has writing code by its own way. It keeps practicing easily. It makes notes as needed. It discusses concepts with the other and do small projects by using some small syntaxes. It is very easy to learn and use. We can have again some explore libraries and frameworks, and we can contribute to open source. Due to the open source, we can easily download and use the Python. Actually, the Python's used in every field nowadays. One of the very basic application, that is desktop applications. Second, web applications, data science, artificial intelligence, machine learning, scientific computing, robotics, Internet of Things, gaming, mobile applications, data analysis, and pre-processing. And again, we have some applications like used in web scraping applications. And now we know very well that Python programming is using interpreter. Means that is running on Python interpreter. Means Python comes with an interactive interpreter. When you type something, when you type Python in your cell or command prompt, the Python interpreter becomes active with suddenly responses. And in some organizations, the Python is going to use the very first basic domain is that is Google. In Google, there were three subjects, that is Python, Java, and Golang. And from these, Python is one of the core language in Google. Python is going to use in Yahoo, YouTube, Mozilla, Facebook, Dropbox, Microsoft, Cisco, Spotify, Quora, IBM, NSA, or many more again organizations we have. These are the flavors of Python, that is C Python, Jython or JPython, Iron Python, PyPy, Ruby Python, Anaconda Python, Stackles. So due to the various applications nowadays, the more Python becomes more popular and very useful language. This is about the Python fundamental and some basic concepts. And thank you for watching and listening.